Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Worst Ones podcast. My name is Rudy Wilson. Rudy Willy Nilly if you're nasty. I'm a PK. I am here with the other homies, the PKs, Terry Wayne, Janessa, Rowland, Kellie Lee is on the way. We are the Worst Ones, and we're here. I don't know. What's going on, man? How's everybody doing? Terry just turned to David Blaine, so we'll come back to him. But Janessa?
I'm better now that I'm with y'all.
Okay. Praise the Lord.
I do look forward to seeing y'all on a weekly basis. So like the one time I missed, I missed y'all.
Ruined you. Ruined your whole week.
Huh?
I said it ruined your whole week when you missed it.
It did. But I'm making it. I've been doing this training and I hate it. Okay. It's like one of those trainings where you have a pre-test, a post-test, homework. They have like quizzes in it. And you know, since it's
you are in school. Right.
This isn't for school. This is for work.
Oh.
Right. So I was just like, it's 4 days, 4 hours, and they are like nonstop. You know, I was just like, who said this was a good idea? So I was in day 2 today. Basically, you're training where you have to pay attention and take quizzes and homework, and yeah.
Gotcha. For work.
For work.
That's stressful.
Exactly. Like who? Whatever. But yeah. So that's how my day's going.
Okay. Well, that's your day, but in reference to just say since the last time we all gathered in his name, how have you been since then?
All is well with my soul.
It is well with my soul. Gotcha.
It is well with my soul.
Gotcha. And how's things with the boyfriend? What's your boyfriend's name?
Chris.
How's things with Chris?
He's good. He's actually right over there grilling out. So, you know.
Gotcha.
We're going to do this podcast and then we're going to have us a good old time in the backyard.
Okay. Say no more. Mm-hmm. All right. Terry Wayne.
I have been fasting since Friday. So
okay.
That's what I'm doing.
That's
not for not like religious fasting.
Okay.
I was just kind of feeling sluggish, and you know, my doctor said some of my blood tests were a little elevated. She recommended it. It's kind of like a cleanse, you know. You can't eat any solid food, just chicken stock and water and Gatorade, and that's it. So, yeah.
Are you starving due to the shortage of chicken?
Gonna be beer free tonight on this one. So,
gotcha. But are you starving as a result of this chicken shortage? Is what I want to know. Okay.
No.
So you're finding.
How did the chicken shortage happen? I'm confused.
Like everything else.
I thought there was already a shortage of chicken, which is why they were dishing out so many fake ones. But apparently,
no, they were. They said it was the roosters weren't keeping up with demand. Yeah, because the roosters have to, fertilize them eggs.
Do all the work.
So they're saying like the rooster didn't have enough fertilizer, or wasn't enough roosters?
No, they're saying they were under producing. The roosters were underproducing, which I think somebody told the roosters like what we were doing with all those eggs and chickens that they were making. They're like, we're not doing this anymore.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that it's a political protest, probably.
It's definitely. I mean, anybody who's in the Miami area, it's definitely hella roosters in Little Havana. If you if you need more roosters,
go scoop one up real quick.
I was driving through Lake Worth, which is like what, an hour north of there the other day, and 2 roosters just walked by me outside of Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mean, there's chickens in Florida. Let's just say that there are chickens in Florida for some reason. Like not, and we're not talking about like at a barn. We're talking about like
Just
almost
walking around.
Yeah, just like civilians.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't used to be like that. But it started in the Keys with the roaming chickens. You know, because down in the Keys they got them everywhere.
What they do, cockfighting or something? In the Keys?
No, it just started. No, they were just raising chickens in the Keys,
okay.
and it just kind of like started migrating north. And then it was in Miami, and then it was in
Yeah.
Broward. And...
Yeah, they definitely in Miami for sure. Yeah, you can see a whole squad. Just like
the folks down there would have caught them and ate them by now.
Right, but they just they treat them with respect. They're like, nah, these chickens gonna be
Not
out
these
here.
chickens.
Yeah.
So the chickens in Florida that are just roaming the streets, can you like just scoop it up, or is that illegal?
Well,
or...
if you got to catch them, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they ain't gonna let you just scoop them. But I mean, I don't think the police would stop you, but the chicken might.
Yeah, you're gonna have to catch the chicken first.
Yeah, they're not gonna just be like, okay, you want to pick me up, go for it. But like, yeah, I don't think it's illegal like as far as against the law. Because they don't belong to anybody. It's not like a like how you see like cows sitting on somebody's land. It's not like that. Like they're literally on the sidewalk anywhere.
Yeah.
They just
like
out.
stray cats, but stray
Yeah.
roosters.
Or even kind of like
like
ducks or something.
The two I just saw last week, they were outside Taco Bell, just chilling by the dumpster.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Okay. Well,
It's wild.
Yeah, but the
Learn
reason why I
something
said
new.
catch and eat them is because like every day I drive home, I see people on the side of the road on these nasty canals catching fish to eat out of these nasty canals.
now I've seen those canals, and why would you ever want to get fish out of them?
Because you're poor.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot more water than that canal, but you know, I don't. Whatever. But yeah, nonetheless, there's a chicken shortage. Go to Miami. All right, you can. There's some real chickens there that haven't been processed.
I'd rather eat the chicken than any of that fish out of that canal.
Big facts. Big facts. Okay. Well, I mean, I've been good. I you know, same old for me. Hopefully Kellie's good. Apparently the Lord saved the day in her life at some point in time. so maybe she'll tell us about that, maybe not. But either way, she's at least good now if she wasn't, because Jesus threw on his cape, swooped in and saved the distressed woman before she hit the ground to end the movie. Right? All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and jump into the topic, and then Kellie Lee can jump in once she appears. So Janessa, you have presented this topic once again, so I'll go ahead and let you elaborate on where this comes from, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, Janessa.
Well, you know, it's never really that deep for me. I was just trying to think of a question.
Right.
And I was walking in Walmart, and I was thinking about the children getting out of school next week. And the question came to me. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up because I can't even remember it. Should prayer be put back into school or allowed in school?
No.
I guess once upon a time it was in school. It wasn't in my school growing up, but
you went to a Catholic school or what?
No,
Christian school?
No, I went to private schools, but they were not religious based private schools. My brother did go to a Catholic high school.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Paideia.
So that Paideia is what, middle and high?
Paideia goes from half day to high school. Half day meaning like 3-year-olds.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
But so you went to Paideia. So no, I'm thinking about St. Pius is what I was thinking about.
Because
I know they're Catholic.
Yeah, they are Catholic. I went to the children's school, the Friends School, and Paideia. So none of those schools are religious per se. The Friends School is Quakers. But my brother did go to St. Thomas More, which is Catholic, and Marist, which is Catholic.
Marist. Okay, yeah, I remember Marist. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you say so, and you say so. It wasn't, and y'all didn't allow prayer ever in Paideia.
Yeah, no. So Paideia is like a really liberal private school. They are accepting of whatever, basically. So yeah, no, there wasn't prayer in any of the schools that I attended, but maybe in y'all schools y'all had prayer.
Let me ask you, let me ask you this. was prayer just like not in the school, meaning like they didn't bring it up, or was it like against the rules to pray in school?
I don't think it was against the rules. It was just not something that
there's no school that's where it's against the rules.
Well, she went to a private school, so they control the rules, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying. Like it might have been.
No, I don't think there was anything against it. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, Paideia was the type of school where they had Jew crew, where a rabbi would come on Tuesdays, and if you were Jewish and you wanted to participate, they had pizza. Just like they also had a club called Bagel Tea, which was, and I think the letters were bi and gay, transgender.
Oh, so Bagel Tea almost kind of was like their own acronym, like for LGBT.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up the alphabet, but
right.
They had their own thing, just like any type of club you wanted to have at Paideia, as long as you had a faculty sponsor, you could do it.
So what was the name of your Christian club?
So we didn't have
that you were the leader of.
We did not have a Christian club that I was the leader of.
Wow, preacher's kid. Awful.
I was a part of Tribonics, which was for the black kids, but
Tribonics.
Tribonics.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't that you couldn't do it, and it wasn't a part of the school's culture, because the school was open to everybody's culture, everybody's religion.
So Paideia didn't have prayer because Janessa Rowland didn't start it. She didn't ask everybody to join hands, bow their head, close their eyes for a word of prayer. That's what the real answer is. It ain't Paideia's fault. It's Janessa's fault. The preacher's kid. She was the worst one at the school. Got it. I solved the case.
Sorry.
All right, all right, Terry, what you got?
I went to public school. My dad had a school for, I think, 2 years. So obviously I went there. And that was your standard Christian school, where they sent, their curriculum and you just followed it. And that was that. So I went to that for a little while. But everyone I know that went to Catholic school, I don't know your brother, Janessa, is messed up now as an adult. And I don't mean like a drug addict or anything. I mean, some of them are, but no, but I mean like there's something messed up on some level. They're definitely not religious anymore. And then
was prayer in their schools?
Huh?
Was prayer like in their Catholic school? Was it enforced?
Oh yeah. You had religious studies courses and
prayer specifically, though. I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you said. But they did like confessional once a week, and like
they had mass at your.
Yeah, not mine.
Yeah, he didn't go. He said he knew people.
Your father's.
When I went to the Christian school that my dad had, you started every morning with prayer, and then in public school. They used to pray. I can't remember when they stopped. I think it was like in the early 70s. They used to start the day off with prayer. But I don't think it should be there. I mean, it's kind of like you said with the clubs. Like, if you want to do that, have your own club. My high school in Deerfield had a Christian club. They used to get together every morning and in a big circle and all lock hands around the American flag out front and pray in the mornings. I mean, good luck socially. If you're a part of that club, it's not really the most popular one. Right. But I think just having it, a la carte like that, where you can start your own clubs and that kind of thing, rather than forcing, kids to do that, because it just ostracizes kids, Imagine if you were Jewish or Muslim or Hindu and everybody gets up to pray in the morning, and you just have to kind of like sit there,
So Terry, when prayer was in schools, because you said it ended in the 70s, which I
think,
clearly before our time. Is it like over the PA system? It would be like, okay, guys, we're gonna have morning prayer. Bow your heads and close your eyes.
I believe so. Yeah.
Dear Lord, da 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 da.
I believe
Amen.
that was the general thing. Was you did the Pledge of Allegiance and then you prayed. Yeah.
The U.S. Supreme Court banned school-sponsored prayer in public schools in a 1962 decision saying that it violated the First Amendment.
Well, yeah, it violates the separation of church and state, and and not only that, religious freedom as well, which is protected under the First Amendment. So they can't make people pray, and that goes, and because then that's one step closer to having a national religion, which we don't. We don't have a national language or a national religion for a reason.
But is it necessarily about prayer, or is it about catering to one religion's prayer? You feel what I'm saying? Because
right,
would prayer would it be better in schools to say, or allowed, if it was just like, hey, and I'm just making this up, from 9 to 9:30 every morning, whoever you pray to, go crazy, do your thing, whatever it is.
30 minutes, good Lord.
No, I'm just talking, but I'm saying whatever it is, because I'm saying some people prayers maybe like at a certain, I don't know, but I'm just saying if it was open like that, would that be more just say respectable to the First Amendment, as opposed to saying, well, when we say prayer, we only mean Christian prayer?
Right, and that's what they would do. They would do Christian.
Let Kellie in.
Oh shit, I didn't even see it down here. My bad.
And then
thank you.
No,
Kellie,
but you could make it like 5 minutes of quiet meditation time that you can do whatever you want to with. That would be a lot more palatable, I think. So
but I'm saying, let's say if they didn't even call it meditation, literally we letting prayers back into the school, right? But it's not about who you pray to. What it is we're going to give a time for prayer. Now you can't be out loud with it, but it's your own.
I get what you're saying,
thing.
But that's why I'm saying it's the name you're going to get in trouble with. You could say this is your 5 minutes, and you can use it to pray if you want to, or for the atheist families out there, you could be like, this is your 5 minutes of quiet meditation or whatever. You can use.
But I'm saying atheists they don't have to use it for nothing. But I'm saying for prayer specifically to be legally let back in schools,
you can't call it prayer.
But I'm saying I think they could call it prayer if it's let back in. I'm not saying sneaking it in during meditation time and saying, hey, if you happen to pray, you happen to pray. I'm saying legally taking back what the Supreme Court did in 1962 and putting it back in schools. Would it be okay if it was open for everybody's God, as opposed to back in the day? No. I'm sure it was just the Christian God.
No, because not everybody's religious.
But I'm saying if you don't pray, then you just don't pray. But if you do pray, I'm saying it leaves it open to whoever you pray to.
And I hear what you're saying, and I'm telling you can't call it prayer. You got to find some other name for it.
So have we talked about hello, I'm a little tardy. So have we talked about how schools call it a moment of silence?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Was like
okay,
a moment of quiet meditation.
We didn't necessarily talk about it.
Silence.
Huh?
Well, I would say we didn't necessarily discuss it. He brought it up in our discussion. You just heard me and him having, but we didn't go deep into it though.
Okay. No, I just remember in school, or maybe when I work in schools. I don't know. I've been in schools all my life. So, but someplace in life, after morning announcements and all of that, they'll say, we'll now have a moment of silence. And in some spaces I've heard, you use that time for, when it's really only 20 seconds, but you use that time for however you see fit, whether it's prayer. Go ahead.
And can I just say, all the time they gave us a moment of silence, I never knew that was for prayer my whole career. Just want to throw that out there.
Right. Like I'm saying, and I feel like it was in my adulthood when I heard a teacher explain to students like, hey, you can use it to pray. You can use it to meditate. You can use it to whatever. I think when I was in school, I just used it to sit there. So Kellie, did you go to a public school or a private school? Public school. So they were having the moment of silence in public school. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I've only worked in public schools. And so, yep. And so even, I don't know if
you ever go to private early enough.
Huh?
Did you ever go to private at any point in time in your life?
I did. So, but I don't remember it. It was like pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, I think.
That ain't even school.
I went to a Christian school at that, but I don't remember.
You definitely weren't praying. If anybody, they might have been praying, but you wasn't.
Right.
If you were, it didn't count.
Right.
But yeah, I went to So I don't. But keep going. I just thought when Terry said the part about the quiet meditation, like I said, I just made me think about they used to call it a moment of silence.
Yeah, he was asking, could you get it back in school if you included everyone? I said, yeah, but you can't call it prayer. You have to call it something else. Quiet moment of meditation was the one I threw out there, but
right,
a moment of silence is the same thing. So
right, but see, for me, and my argument to that is, I feel like as long as it's illegal, then yes, you call it something else. But I feel like if it actually was let back into schools, I think you call it prayer. But I think the biggest issue this whole time has been like the Christian God prayer. It ain't been like open for whoever. Okay. It's like if you're not a Christian, because Christianity is the dominant religion in the United States as far as like in America. So that's what's going to always get the more respect. Anytime you see like, one nation under God, in God we trust, no matter how deep somebody believes into it or not, they're referring to that particular God, and it's not necessarily open to everybody. And I think that was the biggest issue. Kelly just flashed this. All right.
Gotcha. You realize you just went to
you welcome.
So, matter of fact, let us pray now.
Well, that's what I was saying, Rudy. I understand your argument, but again, you can't call it prayer. It's calling it prayer that makes it illegal.
So I would say if they brought it back, first of all, they probably wouldn't call it prayer.
I don't think they'd bring it back.
Yeah, I don't think
they can't. They can't bring it back.
But if they did, it would definitely be some all-inclusive name. Yeah.
Like a moment of silence that Kelly said.
So Kelly, in the school that you're in now, do they still do moment of silence?
So I don't get to work early enough for the morning. So when I'm late everywhere. So
how you miss devotion at church and school? You ain't getting in neither place.
When I'm late everywhere. It is not just to
So you could have been a principal's kid and still would have been the worst one.
Right. Still. But I guess my question would be a devil's advocate question. What would be the purpose of having prayer in schools? Why?
For parents,
it's not illegal to pray in school. It's illegal for schools to tell you to pray.
Right.
So why should we have prayer in school?
But for me, I think it was always more or less like a parental thing, in my opinion. And maybe I'm just going off of because my mom and dad never pushed prayer in school, but they definitely, some praying individuals, like especially when it come down to like their kids, like my mom definitely like prayed with us, like before we went to school, before we got on the school bus, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so like, she wasn't necessarily like freaking us out saying, hey man, because especially back then, I mean, it wasn't, school shooters and stuff wasn't huge in the 90s or 2000, early 2000s. So, at least not, in suburbia, Georgia, or whatever you want to call it. But so it was, I was never going in like fear, I guess, when it came down to prayer. But I think for my mom, if she would have wanted prayer in schools, I think it would have been because of like for our protection, not so much like to practice, because we go to church enough, we pray enough at home. Like we wasn't short of prayer, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it was about it coming out of me and Reese's mouth, you know what I'm saying? But if there was like just say like a chaplain that came on the intercom and was like covering the whole school in prayer, she would fuck with that, you know what I'm saying? But just on some,
hey, Miss
I want my kids to also be known as Christians at school. Like she didn't care about that. I mean, she wanted us to behave, but if nobody knew that we prayed or not at school, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, is what I'm saying.
Well,
for my mom specifically.
Kelly, I got a question for you. We were talking earlier. I was saying how my high school had it was a public school, but it had different clubs for different religions. Like the Christian kids, they had a club. They could come early and meet in the morning, and they'd all get in a circle around the flag outside and pray in the mornings. You got anything like that?
So, even when I was in high school, and I know my high school has it now, but I'm not exactly sure what the club is really about, but Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a pretty big club, but I'm not sure.
That's
maybe I need to go
bigger than the club though. Yeah,
huh?
They bigger than the club. Like,
yeah,
they like a boys and girls clubs type of club, if you will. Like, it's international. Like, people come from everywhere to attend that for sure.
Yeah, like I said, so I remember it being a big deal back when I was in school. And they definitely still have those weekly meetings now. And it's one that, like, my principal sends out the announcement every week or two. Hey, CFA or whatever it's called, is this week or whatever, and so I know it's a pretty big organization. I'm just not sure, like I said, and it's one, they're not talking about the National Hair Club, the Natural Hair Club. My principal will send out a reminder that the Natural Hair Club is meeting on Wednesdays at 7, but for Fellowship of Christian FCA, they'll say they meet every Friday at 7:45. On Thursdays, I get a little email that says, don't forget, from the principal. So again, I haven't been to one of their meetings since high school, but that's probably the only thing. Now, I work at a predominantly lower middle class Black school, high school, and then I work at probably a lower middle class elementary school, all Black, mostly Black, and so but we don't really talk about prayer, but the religion that you would assume most people associate it with is Christianity.
Are you allowed as a employee of the county or whatever it is? Like, are you allowed, or the school system, are you allowed just say like to pray with a student? Like, if a student asks you to pray with them in your office, could you do that?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think
you would be able to.
Yeah, I probably would.
Imagine so.
Yeah, I probably would.
But you wouldn't be able to initiate it. Like, you wouldn't be able to be like, you wouldn't be able to be like, let's pray, baby, let me cover you in the blood of Jesus.
Right? No. And I probably couldn't even have.
I know you're having a hard time, but we're gonna get you across that stage.
Right. I don't even know if if I put like God or the Holy Bible or Jesus, or something in my office, if that's appropriate. I've kind of always stayed clear, but I do talk about God and prayer most definitely with my students, and it's something that I'll ask them. Like I said, most of my students, that is the religion, and so, I may say something, I may throw in something like, and God is good, or thank you, Lord, some little small thing like that, see how they respond, and then I slide it on in. Do you go to church? Is there a youth ministry at your church? Let me. So, but yeah, I don't know if I would get
you get more in trouble for what you just said than praying with a student who asked.
Right. But yeah, I do slide that in. I slide it in with parents too. Like, hey, because as we've talked about in this podcast, I am a huge advocate for great youth ministries. And so when I can slide that into a conversation with a student or a parent, I most definitely do.
Well, I'm not in a school setting like you, Kelly, but I do work for the government. And I asked my manager about that. And she told me, I don't know if it's right or not, but this is what she said. That in my office, I can put what I would like. So in my office, I have on my door a bunch of scriptures that I copied and pasted and cut on and put on note cards. I have artwork that has scriptures on it. I've gone to, those sip and paint classes that have Bible scriptures. I blast gospel music all the time in my office, and anybody who comes in contact with me knows. They know that I'm a Christian, and they know what they're gonna get when they step into my office. But outside of my office, you know, I'm not about to preach down a sermon on you. But if you do come in my office and you have a conversation with me and it goes there, I will give you a whole sermonette and pray for you and all that stuff. So,
I think,
you know, I guess it just depends on the environment you're in. And
I think the legal distinction between the two of them is, as a government associate, whether, you know, being in schools or anything else, you're still allowed your own religious freedom. That's the thing about the First Amendment. You're allowed your own religious freedom, but you're not allowed to push it on anybody else. That's the thing. You can't, if you look at a government building, you can't require your staff to pray in the morning or not wear a yarmulke, or, you know what I mean? You're not allowed to push your doctrine on somebody else because that infringes on their free speech. But it doesn't eliminate yours. You know, you can still pray in school if you want. If you're a kid and you want to pray in school, nobody can stop you, but they can't make you either. That's the difference.
Well, that's a good transition, Terry, to the other question I was going to ask is, should classes on religion, period, not just Christianity, but, you know, a class on religion or on various religions be offered in school to be inclusive of everybody, so you can learn about what other, not saying you need to be, you know, a Buddhist and this is why, more so like this is what Buddhists believe. This is what
I think so 100%, because there's no place more liberal in the world than the average Ivy League school, and they all offer religious studies courses. I think it should be an elective, just like anything else. Like you pick gym or art or wood shop or whatever, you can pick religious studies. But like you said, it's about learning and it's not about practicing. So it's not like you go in there and pray with everybody, or, you know, or one day and then the next day you go in there and you read from the Talmud for Judaism or the Quran for, you know, Islam. You just study religions. I think that's a great idea. I think having a religious studies course in high school as like an elective, I think that would be great. But it's got to be an elective, and it has to be just learning and not practicing.
I would agree with that. In hindsight, I wish I had that opportunity. Now, I don't know if I would have taken it when I was in high school, but now I definitely wish I would have had that. Huh?
I would have taken it just to been the superstar.
Oh.
I
don't know.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have taken it, but I definitely think that should be. I agree with Terry. Offered as an elective, as a part of just the learning experience, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have taken. I probably would have taken it, but I wouldn't have been in the right mindset to be receptive to what was the other religions, because I'd be like, the Bible says, Jesus said, God didn't say that.
And that's why low key, I was going to say, I don't know if I would say that it should be. I mean, if it was, would I be protesting against it? No. But to say that, to say that it should be, to me is kind of, I mean, I ain't gonna say a stretch, but I wouldn't push it that far as a should, because to me,
that should be.
To me, that still just say enables that mix that they're trying to avoid when it comes down to like you mentioned, church and state or whatever the case may be. Like you're still that world is still being introduced, which then could affect somebody.
Yeah, but see, it
doesn't.
You know
what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is like that, and I don't think that if somebody gets converted or whatever, that's the worst thing in the world. But what I'm saying is that I feel like if you're going to like stay away from religion because of prayer or whatever, then I think you should just, I don't think there's anything wrong with just staying away from it altogether. Once again, if it happens to be an elective and it is one, I'm not tripping like that. I'm not like that against it. But I'm just saying, I don't know if it say like it should, like definitely put it in so kids can learn it. I'm not on that side. I'm like, if it's there, fine. But if it's not, I'm fine with that.
That's what an elective is. You get to choose it.
No. I'm saying if it's not there at all, like an elective is that option. I'm saying
we already have that in this country. I took one when I took my first semester of community college, which is
I took it in college too, but I'm talking about high school. I'm talking about like in public school.
So am I, but come on, I was the same person at 19 as I was at 17. So it's not that big of a deal. But I think the more you can get kids learning, and the earlier you can get them thinking, like critical thinking, kind of like Janessa said. She said, "Oh, I don't know how I feel about the other religions." Well, maybe you would learn something about something else, or learn something about someone else. And it would make you think a little differently. And
then schools might as well teach on race then.
I'm pretty sure they do.
No. I'm not talking about the history of race. I'm saying like how you should view race.
Well, no. See, because that's where I said it can't be practicing. It has to.
I didn't say practice it. I'm just saying like, but if you taught a class to say like, hey, people aren't less because of the color of their skin, I think that's a valuable lesson that you can learn in school. I'm
pretty sure I learned that in school.
I did.
When they talk about the civil rights movement and Martin Luther King Jr. and
what I've seen. So I've done a couple of observations. Just a part of my job, I have to observe students in the classroom, and I've seen a lot this year of teachers in those history classes. Talking about race, talking about injustice, talking about the protests.
Is that due to 2020 or is that just something that's been going on?
It's called social studies. I don't know if you had that class, but
I did. But what I'm saying is, anybody was talking about what she's talking about to that degree. So I'm saying, did that come from? I think
it came from what's relevant in the world right now.
Right.
And so, like I said, and I work at a predominantly Black school.
For sure, right. Which that's what need to be said, right?
Right, and so those conversations are definitely being held, and I think they should.
But that's what I'm saying. But can that? But I'm sorry to cut you off, but can that be an elective? Is what I'm saying. Can that be an elective? Like,
I think it should. I agree with religious being an elective too. I mean, because I feel like school is a place to explore. I feel like most of high school, I have to learn what you want me to learn.
Right.
In government, in history, in all of stuff that I don't even agree with or really happened. All that is debatable anyway. That you make me listen to, and you make me learn and test on, and you apply. You make me do that. And so to offer, like I said, as an elective, classes on religion, classes on race, classes on women's studies, classes on, what I'm saying? Like at the high school level, like Terry said, I think he said, the Janessa said, like that critical thinking, that thinking differently, that outside of the box, because half of that stuff we learned in high school, I don't use.
Well, critical thinking is so important because especially I remember being a teenager. And by the way, just a little side note here, my middle school and high school were also predominantly Black. I mean, in the 80 to 90% range.
Okay.
So,
did you live in a predominantly Black neighborhood?
You said it was important. So,
did you live in a predominantly Black neighborhood?
Huh?
Did you live in a predominantly Black neighborhood?
I mean, for the most part, like I was on the fringe, and my school district just always happened to be, in covering that area. I didn't, my teenage years, we weren't exactly rich, so.
What you saying? You went to school with the Black people?
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with you going to a Black school?
Nothing.
I don't.
She kept.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, nothing. She kept mentioning it, and you said that's an important part of it, and I said, well, that's the same place I'm getting my experiences from. That's all I was saying was, but I think anything that gets, any young person, anybody under 18. To actually think about the world bigger than just their block or their city and starts looking at the world. I think that's really important. I think we don't put enough emphasis on social studies anymore, but that's the stuff you're actually going to use when you get out. I also think there should be a financial class, teach kids how to manage their finances.
No, for sure.
Religious studies, I think, is a great elective.
But this is what I'm saying.
If you can sign up for an elective and go learn French, which you're barely ever going to use, then definitely you should be able to learn about religion or race.
Learning a different language is definitely important. I wouldn't short that. But for me, if I had to rank learning, like the race elective, the financial elective, and the religious elective, religious would be third out of those three. Because to both, all three of y'all's point, ain't nobody taking that shit in high school. We take it in college. You are not thinking about religious studies.
I wasn't.
But if there was, but those other ones, like if there was a fight, like you wouldn't even have to paint it saying like, oh, this is a class about credit. Just say, hey, you want to learn how to be rich when you get out of here? Come join this. I guarantee you, there's gonna, especially in a black school, they're gonna want to know. They're gonna at least want to find out. And it's an elective. I was thinking
more like taxes and finances.
That's what I'm saying.
In general,
taxes,
not
credit,
just credit,
all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm saying how money works in general, how
Yeah.
investing works, all that stuff. But you don't have to lead with that, because they're not going to know what any of those terms mean at 15, 16, 17, whatever. But if you say like, yo, this is a money class, like, and you put money in front of them and show them, like, let them play with money, I guarantee you they'll remember that. Even if it's fake money, I'm just saying, but you let them physically do it. Let them fill out a deposit slip or write a check or whatever. Like, they'll look at that shit way different. But if you learn about, just say, Christianity or Buddhism, whatever like that, like, to me, I get it. We need to be aware of that stuff. That helps us treat everybody nicely and respect and understand. But them first two will cover a lot of that basis before we ever even get to that point, for me. So that's why that's
why it's an elective, because if it would have been offered.
But for me, it's an elective to even be in the school, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not even putting it in the school as an elective. Like, for me, the school board still need to vote if they even care enough about this, in my opinion. Like, that's where I'm at with it. Like,
but again, it's your opinion. That's why I said
right.
Elective.
That's why
you said you wouldn't take it.
But I'm not. No.
If I was 16 and in high school, I would.
No. I never answered whether I would take it or not. Y'all answered it and said y'all wouldn't. But what I'm saying is, I just saying it could be there. I'm not saying that it should be. It could be fine, but for me, those other two should be. That's my whole point.
All right, I got it. But I'm saying they all three should be. And Janessa, you're on mute.
Oh,
I had to mute you because your microphone echoes us when we talk.
Oh,
but go for it though. No, you good.
Did she uncheck her box?
You're not echoing. It was us. Okay. Now you. Okay. You're on mute. You. Okay.
Is it still echoing?
There you go.
Okay. So I was gonna say, kind of to your point, Rudy, maybe that should be the approach though. I know at Paideia, we have something called short term. So short after fall semester, it was like a 4 weeks chunk of time from January to February. And then again, you had another short term, like the month of May to June after that. And it's basically kind of what y'all are talking about. It's like where you kind of take academic classes that aren't your traditional academic classes. So instead of taking chemistry, biology, whatever, you might take astronomy, drugs, dyes, and fragrances, which, deals with creating scents and Tylenol and what, like, it's kind of like a spin on your traditional classes. And that's actually where I learned how to crochet. We had a class about hair. We had a class about photography. It's just kind of like, just like I said, not your traditional history,
right,
physics, whatever classes. And actually, the way they kind of promote them is kind of like what you said. It would be something catchy. I have a short-term class about video games. We literally played Halo and Mario Kart, and then we had to write a paper on it. You know what I'm saying? And that was for an hour of the day we played video games. So maybe that's something. The class on finances, the class on race. We actually did have a class called Class, Race, and Social. But maybe it should be taking from our podcast. Like, You know, maybe it could be one of y'all's favorite taglines, like "Did Jesus have a heart on?" or something like that. Maybe that will get people interested in.
No, that won't. That's a bad idea.
About religion. I'm not saying that.
I mean,
That
I'll go
probably
for it.
wouldn't work at all. But you see what I'm saying? Like something catchy that is not like, come learn about Buddhist, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity, because it's going to be so much fun. Like you might,
there are.
You might have to like do a little extra to get them interested.
Or you can just let people wait till they get to college, like we did.
You know, quite a few kids would have taken that class. I'm just saying, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it would have been empty, but all I'm saying is if it was there, cool. But them other two, for me, way more important. At a high school level, I think those are something that you can enforce at a younger age. And then like the religion, like I said, people can take it their freshman year in college like everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you took it at a community college, other people take it at a 4-year college. Like it's in a college level somewhere. But
everybody doesn't go to college.
And not everybody's
and everybody go to church.
Well, everybody don't, but everybody's not like you, Rudy. You know, that's your opinion.
I could have told you that a long time ago.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's your opinion. Other people, like I said, you said it wasn't important. Well, to me at 16, it would have been critically important. But
Terry, you said you was a different person at 16, 19. So you're saying you were better at 16 than you were at 19 is what you're implying.
No, I'm saying I wasn't a different person. I was not.
So you would have went to church at 19 or took religious studies at 19 and 16 is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would have done either way. I was curious about it, and there's a lot of people that are coming into their own that are curious about it too.
Right. And just like this is my opinion, that's your opinion, Terry.
Exactly.
So what are we talking about? This is
nothing.
All right. Okay.
That's why it's an elective. You can choose it.
No, but I'm saying I just don't think it's an important elective. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think it's important. I know you do. No. I think that's the point of why we get on this podcast. I don't think we've ever agreed. But
it's like right now with the Palestinians and the Israelis fighting over there, I would want to know why. Why are they so mad at each other? You know?
Yeah, but so does everybody even have the same definition of religious studies? Like, would that be about the wars that's currently going on right now, or would it be about this is what? Because like Janessa said, she was more or less saying this is what these people study and believe. You're talking about more or less a current event due to just say
no, that's what I'm saying. But I would have been able to say if I'm 16 right now and I see this happening. I mean, it was happening when I was 16 too. But I would be able to say, yeah, they don't like them because they worship this and they worship that. I would have been able to piece that together on their religious bias, and I would have been tremendously interested in that. But that's just me.
So what about the kids that are in school right now? This is a question for all of y'all. What you think what elective you think they need to take most right now? The kids who are in school with masks on right now, what do they need to take?
Finance,
race, finance, or religion?
I mean, out of those three, I mean, of course, finance.
Finance has to be.
And then what?
Then I think you do current. No.
Out of those three, what comes next?
And then you do current events.
No. Why can't you do them all?
Out of those three. I'm not saying. No, they're going to do them all. They're going to take all three. I'm just saying the order of importance that they're taking them. It'll be. You said finance. Then what comes next, Kelly?
Was it race, religion, race?
Thank you. And then last is religion. That's my whole point.
I would have said religion.
The doors of the church are open.
I would have said religion next. I think God more important than race.
God has spoken. Let the church say amen. Okay. God wants you to learn it in your first year of college, not in high school.
Janessa, what's your order?
For the kids right now with the mask on. Don't think about when you was in school. No, I'm saying the kids who are living what we are looking at as adults, they are facing this as teenagers, as kids, whatever. What you think in those three in order of importance? What you think they need to learn?
Religion, because of the masks.
We're talking to Janessa.
All right. Well, Janessa's thinking. So I was saying
that's really hard, and it's not even because of this conversation, because I'm trying to debate between race and finances as one with
come on, finance has got to be number one.
If it's Kelly school, it's probably really that's the balance too. I would say I don't know, probably race and then finance.
I don't even think here. I'll go you one better. I don't even think finance should be an elective. I think it should be right alongside.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
You should have to.
For sure.
I would say that about race too. Religion is the only one that needs to be an elective. That's the whole. That's the whole point of this conversation. Religion is the only one that needs to be an elective.
You made a good point, Rudy, with the kids with the masks on. The world's a little nutty right now, so I think kids learning about religion right now would probably be a good idea. It would at least give them a little peace. And maybe some of these anxiety problems and depression problems in kids, maybe some of these mental issues might, go down.
And niggas in America ain't fighting over religion right now. It's race and wealth.
No, you didn't hear what I said. I said maybe for some of them they could find a little peace in learning.
Yeah, I'm saying they just need to go to church for that. They don't need to learn that in a religious class in school. They just need to go to the altar. But I'm talking.
But I think the important part of religion is for those students those families that aren't, that they don't go to church. That it gives them
an opportunity.
Right.
They learn about all of them. It's not like they're getting preached the word of God and saying like follow this way. It's just literally saying this is what they believe. This is what they believe. This is what they believe.
But we already discussed that. You can't do that. That's
so I'm saying, no, right. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like they're getting Bible study by going to religious studies. Is what I'm saying.
Something.
As opposed to getting a direct message about how to handle race and how to handle finances.
So you're saying no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think particularly because you said the mask thing, with the world being as crazy as it is right now, I think it would actually be a lot more beneficial. It would give them at least some semblance of peace and maybe an outlet for some of all this craziness. That's just the thought.
Race and finance need to be mandatory. Religion would be elective.
Well, outside social studies, I'd like to see what the race class looks like, because you're walking dangerous ground.
You always say that dangerous guy. You always worry about some danger. You always worry about danger. You, Mr. Hard Hat, I walk through inspect houses. Dangerous ground. That's all you think about is danger.
I'm saying socially.
I'm saying, man.
No, I'm saying socially.
Listen,
it's dangerous ground.
What's that lady name? That white lady who do the eyeball test? She did that on her students at school. She do like if you have like blue eyes, or if you have dark eyes, that she do like this whole like separation.
The older white lady with the short hair. I know who you're talking about.
It's called
her name.
It's called like the blue eye experience or something like that. But basically, like she discriminates people by their eye color, and it's like, and people be fucked up. They be so mad. But yeah, it's something to check out. But either way, she did that in public school, like back in the day, in an all white class. Wow,
that wouldn't fly. That's
Jane Elliott. Her name is Jane Elliott.
Yeah, she still do it to this day. She alive. She done been on Oprah and everything. She to go.
That's called eugenics, and no, that wouldn't fly.
I'm just letting you
know.
That's
what the Nazis did.
No, I'm saying it was. She didn't like do it in a mean way. Like she did it as like an experiment. Like she was showing them.
You were saying she was discriminating.
No, in the experiment. So like instead of doing the experiment with skin color, she just did it by eye color. That you know what I'm saying. So that it was like it just was a different way of showing why you shouldn't treat people wrong because of something that they can't control, basically skin color, eye color, hair color, whatever. It's just basically.
So you could be white and have brown eyes,
right, and be over with a bunch of black people, and white with blue eyes, and be over with all the white people.
Yeah,
and
all right, that's better. I thought you were saying she was discriminating.
No, but I'm just saying she taught this lesson in public school.
No, I heard you.
Right,
I got it.
I'm saying
I mistook it.
Right. No, I got you on that. But I'm saying to the point of saying, like, as far as it like being mandatory or not, I know it's not a class, but like she did it, and I think it had a much bigger impact than if she would have did that same experiment about religion.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Religion's dope. It just would have been an elective in high school. First year college. Anybody else?
So what you're saying is your entire class on race can be done with one experiment?
No. She's just one person who I know who did it. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anybody else? All hearts and minds clear.
Oh, these church
Turn to your neighbor, say neighbor. If you need to go to the altar,
you can go
I'll walk
with
you. Let them know. We'll go.
All right. And if you need to follow us, Kelly, let them know.
At the worst ones PK on IG.
First of all, stop acting like you're reading something. Like people gonna think you got a script in front of you.
At the worst one.
If you want to follow us, comma, you can. Can we replace can with may?
Please follow us. You will follow us. If you have made it to this part of the podcast, you will follow us at the worst ones PK.
There you go.
Very aggressive. Very aggressive.
You will also continue to listen to our podcast.
Jesus Christ.
Except iHeartRadio, but most places where podcasts can be found.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that.
So don't be trying to rush me. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, in the search engine, you can you can type in the worst ones podcast.
Boom.
Once you listen, and even before you listen, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe.
Janessa, all right.
You're really milking this bitch.
All right, here we go.
Ooh, y'all can follow me at Melanated Brews for all things coffee, tea, and beer. Went to a new spot last week.
Okay.
Refugee Coffee in Clarkston is actually one of my favorite places I've been to since I started the blog. So check it out. Melanated Brews on all social media platforms. Kelly, we gonna get you some hooked on phonics, some early wise. We gonna get you some help, sis.
I'm telling you. All right.
You can follow me at Terry Wayne Comedy on all social media platforms.
You got Terry all messed up.
Terry Wayne.
Terry, what happened to the you don't shout out the food bank no more, man? They ain't popping. They ain't still serving.
I haven't seen them lately over here. So yeah. You know what? Palm Beach County Food Bank. If you got a few extra bucks, it helps. Go and donate. Palm Beach County Food Bank. I gotta watch these people getting their food at 6 a.m. It's crazy.
Gotcha. Cool beans. And for me, man, just follow the podcast official page. What's that face for? What's going on?
Where have you been, Kelly?
The podcast official page. What happened to Chocolate Monkey or something?
First of all, whoa. What type of racist shit was that?
What can it be racist? I don't think it can.
I knew y'all were bringing it. What about candy, not chocolate? Sweet and sour.
This is the podcast official page. Okay, this is what I want people to follow. This is what I want people to subscribe to on YouTube. This is what I want you to subscribe to on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, along with the Worst Ones podcast. Janessa, I'm gonna mute you because I think you're still the problem. You were okay, and and so that is a podcast we do the last Monday of every month on Zoom.
That podcast.
Do I need to mute you as well? Can you not hold in your outbursts, Kelly?
My bad.
No, I'm just kidding. But Yeah, so we do it the last Monday of each month on Zoom. We invite you to come in. We don't stream it live on Facebook and all that. We want you to be in the conversation, not commenting from the outside. So man, we got the Zoom link. It'd be in all the bios and the flyers and all that stuff at the end of the promo video. So you can use the Zoom number or the Zoom link, but either way, follow this same handle is for all social media platforms, including the audio. All right. Well, man, that's been another episode of this. This is episode 26, guys. You know what I'm saying? If 100 was the goal, we are more than a quarter away. I mean, past. I mean, done. You know what I'm saying? We got 3 quarters left.
So my reading, your math. Go ahead.
Well, it was just my wording.
I got you. I just needed somebody else to be in this boat with me.
I mean, I messed up now. I just want to be insulted about the right thing. Yeah, that's it, man. Terry Wayne's doing real estate. Kellie is observing kids, and Janessa is preaching to hers. And all of us together, we are the Worst One Podcast. Until next time, listen to us, follow us. We out. Kellie, put your fingers up.
Sorry.
All right.
All right, y'all.